You pick up your phone for a second, just a second, to check one thing, and then the second becomes 20 minutes. And somewhere in that blur, you have watched a dozen strangers live, their trips, their homes, their wins. You put the phone down, and the room feels smaller, and so do you. A minute ago, you were living your own life. Now you have spent part of it as an audience to everyone else's. And it did not make you feel connected, it made you feel behind. Like the world is moving forward without you. Like everyone else got a map you never did. You did not choose to feel that. But the real answer is far stranger than vanity or weak willpower. Your brain was built over millions of years to watch other people with everything it has. It is one of the oldest and most powerful instincts your species owns. The problem is not that you watch, the problem is what you now point that ancient eye at. Let me explain. Start with a simple, uncomfortable truth. You cannot actually tell how you are doing on your own. Are you smart? Successful? Doing well? None of those questions has an answer in a vacuum. Smart compared to whom? Successful next to what? Every judgment you make about yourself secretly depends on someone else to measure against. A psychologist named Leon Festinger noticed this in the 1950s. He called it social comparison theory. His claim was simple and profound. Humans have a built-in drive to evaluate themselves, and with no objective measuring stick, they do it by comparing themselves to other people. Not because they are insecure, because it is the only way to know where they stand. So, the comparing is not a bad habit. It is a basic feature of how the mind understands itself. You measure your life against the lives around you. Everyone always has. But why would evolution build that in so deeply? Why would your survival ever have depended on watching everyone else? To answer that, you have to picture the world your brain was actually designed for. Not this one. A small band. A few dozen people who were your entire universe. And in that world, keeping track of every single one of them was not gossip. It was survival. A researcher named Robin Dunbar argued that the human brain grew so large in part to handle one staggeringly complex task: keeping track of other people. Who is allied with whom? Who can be trusted? Who is rising and who is falling? Who holds a grudge? Who would make a strong partner? Who a dangerous enemy? Dunbar even found that a huge portion of human conversation is, at its core, about other people. That fascination is not a flaw. It is the machinery that let us live in groups at all. In that world, the person who paid attention paid off. Watch closely, and you knew who to follow, who to avoid, who was climbing, and who was about to fall. Fail to watch, and you could miss a shift in alliances that got you pushed to the edge of the group. And the edge could get you killed. So your brain became a magnificent instrument for monitoring other lives, tracking status, quietly measuring your position against everyone else's, because in a small band, your position was everything. And here is proof of how deep this runs. People care less about how much they have and more about how much they have compared to others. In one famous study, people chose between two worlds: earn 50,000 while everyone earns 25, or earn 100,000 while everyone earns 200. Many chose to be objectively poorer as long as they were richer than the people around them. People will take less in real terms just to be ahead. That is how powerfully you are wired to track your rank. None of this was a problem for hundreds of thousands of years. The comparison machine ran on a small, stable, honest group. You saw people fully, their struggles as well as their wins. A few dozen real humans with lives roughly like yours. The instinct oriented you. It told you accurately where you stood. Then, almost overnight, the world it was built for disappeared. Now think about what you actually feed that ancient machine today. Not a few dozen real people, millions. And not their whole lives. Only the highlights. The vacation, never the debt. The wedding, never the loneliness, before it. The success, never the years of failure underneath. You are comparing your entire messy inside to thousands of carefully chosen outsides. And your brain, which evolved to trust what it sees, believes every bit of it. A psychologist named Ethan Kross tracked people over time as they used social media, checking in on how they felt. And what he found was quietly devastating. The more people scrolled through others' lives, the worse they tended to feel afterward. Not better, worse. The very activity that felt like connection was draining people's well-being. Watching everyone else's life made them less satisfied with their own. Do you see the trap? Your brain evolved a tool for measuring your place among 100 people you knew fully, and you handed it an endless feed of millions of strangers at their best. The comparison never ends, because the feed never ends, and you can never win, because there is always someone, somewhere, whose highlight outshines your ordinary Tuesday. The instinct that once oriented you now disorients you. The eye that once helped you find your place now can never let you feel you have won. And this is the quiet cost. Every minute you spend watching someone else's life is a minute you are not living your own. The ancient machine was meant to run in the background. A quick glance to check your footing, and then back to your own hunt, your own work, your own people. It was never meant to become the main event. But now the watching has swallowed the living. You spectate so much of the world that you forget to be in it. Here is where it turns, though. Because understanding the machine is how you take back the controls. That pull is not a sign you are shallow, or envious, or broken. It is one of the most sophisticated instincts your species ever developed, doing exactly its job. The trouble is not the instinct. The trouble is the mirror it has been given. A distorted, infinite, curated mirror that no ancestor of yours ever had to survive. Once you see that, the feeling loses its power. The next person whose life makes you feel behind is not actually ahead. You are comparing your unedited whole against their edited fragment. The race you feel you are losing is not real. It is a trick of scale, an old instrument pointed at a world it was never made to read. So the next time the second becomes 20 minutes, and you set the phone down feeling smaller than when you began, do not be cruel to yourself about it. You are not weak. You are simply carrying the oldest eye in the world, the one your ancestors used to find their place in the group. Still watching, still measuring, still hungry. And the only thing it has forgotten is the one life it was always meant to help you live. Yours.